Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to the Cruise News. We're going to start off talking about another cruise ship that unfortunately, due to some high winds there at the dock, has broken free from their moorings. Now, this is not the first cruise ship that this has happened to this year, but unfortunately, this time it didn't quite end the same as all the others. Normally, they're able to get the ship back under control, get it back to the dock. They maybe lose a couple of gangways. Well, unfortunately, this time it resulted in a collision with another ship. So this past Sunday, P&O Cruise Lines Britania was docked in Spain. A sudden, quick, high-winded storm came out of nowhere. They said about 75-mile-an-hour winds hit the side of the ship, caused the moorings to snap. The ship drifted away from the dock and collided with an oil tanker. There was damage done to the Britannia, and there were some people on board that reported minor injuries, some falls, some flying debris. They were treated in the onboard medical facility. The ship went back, redocked there in Spain, and has remained there while the damage was being assessed. Now, they completed the damage assessment, and while the ship itself is structurally sound, there was damage done to one of the lifeboats and to some other life-saving equipment there on the side of the ship. And it's had an unfortunate consequence that some passengers, they're going to have to be disembarked. See, maritime law requires that there is enough lifeboats and enough life-saving equipment for every passenger on board the ship. P&O Cruises come back and said, look, we cannot repair this lifeboat and this other equipment. We can't do it while docked here in Spain. Unfortunately, that means some of the passengers, well, they have to leave the ship in order for the ship to even continue on. Now, guests on board the ship, they got a letter there from P&O, from the ship, letting them know of the situation and what was going to be asked of them. Third-party surveyors have confirmed that one of Britannia's lifeboats and some other life-saving equipment has sustained structural issues and cannot be repaired on board. Now, the letter goes on to say that some guests might be asked to disembark the ship, and they will receive a dedicated flight home. Now, what the letter doesn't say is how they're going to pick those guests. Which guests are going to be asked to disembark the ship? Didn't really say. I would assume that, that the very first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask for volunteers. Who volunteers to go ahead and get off of the ship? It doesn't also say how many guests will be asked to get off a ship. The average lifeboat holds 150 passengers. So you figure if they're down for sure one lifeboat, a minimum of 150 passengers, but that is pure speculation. So how they're going to pick who disembarks the ship, and are they going to offer any type of compensation or anything to go along with it, they have not said yet. Now, the next sailing for the Britannia is September the 1st, a 14-day voyage, but you could be looking at the same issue if they're unable to repair the lifeboat and life-saving equipment in time. Because if that sailing is fully booked and they don't have the proper life-saving equipment, some people may find their cruise canceled for the next sailing as well. Now, P&O has not come out and said that yet. Right now, they're trying to get it fixed, trying to get it repaired, trying to get the ship back up to, where it needs to be. But if you're on that September 1st sailing, it is just something to be aware of. All right, we have some more weather information, some more storm information, because 3 of the cruise ports in Florida, well, they're kind of getting prepared. They're upgrading their alert levels ahead of the current tropical storm that is expected to grow into a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane here in the next couple of days. Now, right now, the storm is about 100 miles, give or take, probably less by the time this video comes out, east of Cozumel, heading north, and is expected to impact Florida on Wednesday. So, down at Port Tampa, which is directly in the path of the storm, they have elevated their threat level to Yankee, which means that all inbound traffic into the cruise port is currently suspended. But the next ships that are expected to arrive back in Tampa is not until Thursday, and that's Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas and Carnival Cruise Lines Carnival Paradise. Now, Port Canaveral, they're only at condition X-ray. It's over on the east coast of Florida, which means the cruise port is currently still open, but depending on what weather does, that can change. So that's something to also keep an eye on. But they also don't have any ships expected in until Thursday. And then Jacksonville is also currently at X-ray. Now, the only cruise ship currently there in Jacksonville is the Carnival Elation. She is not due back until Thursday either. So we don't have any cruise ships going into these 3 cruise ports on Wednesday. But like I said, it's all going to depend on what the storm does. It could stall out, it could slow down, it could speed up, could gain in strength. So there is always the possibility of some delays, but nothing has been announced as of yet. Carnival Cruise Lines, they have released the name, or said what the name is going to be for their new private island destination. So this is going to be exclusive to Carnival Cruise Lines. It is on the scenic side of the Grand Bahama Island. And they said the name of it is going to be Celebration Key. Now, exact details and everything that's going on there, they have not been released yet. This is just kind of to get people interested and get people talking about it as to exactly what's going to be available at Celebration Key. We know construction began back in May of 2022, and Carnival has said that come this September, that's when they're going to be releasing ships and itineraries that are going to visit this new destination. So as we get more information and what kind of stuff is going to be going on there at Celebration Key, we will let you guys know as soon as we hear anything. And finally, we did a story, and it's been a little while now. I want to say it's been months. I mean, the story may have even been last year, but there was consideration of a 4th cruise terminal coming to Galveston, Texas. At the time, they were interested in working with MSC Cruise Lines, possibly Norwegian Cruise Lines, to build the new 4th terminal here and get some more cruise ships and more cruise companies sailing out of Galveston. Well, Galveston Wharves down there at Port Galveston, they've come out and they said, hey, we are still working on this. This is still in the works. This is actually moving faster than we thought. Still working with MSC, still working with Norwegian Cruise Lines. They've even got a spot picked out where it's going to go. They say it's going to be Pier 16 and Pier 17. Okay, and if you're familiar with Galveston, that puts it in between where Royal Caribbean currently is at Pier 10 and where Carnival, Princess, Disney, and all the others are at their current cruise terminal. It would put it in between those two. Now, nothing has been finalized. They're still negotiating, working it all out. But the fact that all this time later, they're still talking about it, they're still bringing it up, saying, hey, this is still ongoing because Galveston really wants to make this happen. It's good for the local economy, brings in money from all the cruise passengers, that come in early, spend time in the hotels, the restaurants, the local attractions. And for those of us that cruise out of Galveston and love to cruise out of Galveston, it's more ships, more cruise lines, and just some more cruising opportunities. And that's going to be your cruise news for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.